thầy thầy thầy. bellísimo. Cái lâu nó bị mình hết trơn.
I was halfway through my morning coffee when I heard the sirens. Not one, not two, but 3 police cars came skidding onto my gravel driveway, kicking up a cloud of dust so thick it looked like a damn apocalypse movie. I blinked. The only crime happening on my property was me trying to drink my coffee in peace. Then, out of one of the cop cars, stomping like she was leading a military raid, came the last person I expected. A short, furious woman clutching a clipboard like it was a weapon, her oversized sunglasses perched on her face like she was trying to hide from the law instead of calling them. And then, in the loudest, most entitled voice imaginable, she screamed, "This man has an illegal electric fence. He's endangering the entire community." I didn't even live in her community. It took me a second to process what was happening. The cops, who looked just as confused as I felt, were already fanning out like they were about to uncover a major crime scene. Meanwhile, I stood there in my pajama pants, coffee in one hand, absolutely dumbfounded. This woman, who I recognized from my neighbor's drunken rants as HOA Karen, wasn't even from my neighborhood. Her HOA didn't even reach this far. But that didn't seem to matter to her. She was already pointing dramatically at my fence, which surrounded my 10-acre property, warning the officers about its dangerous, inhumane nature. Now, to be fair, my fence was electric. But it wasn't some cartoonishly overpowered, fry a person to a crisp kind of thing. It was a standard livestock electric fence, the kind farmers use to keep coyotes and stray dogs from messing with their animals. Perfectly legal. Not even strong enough to harm anything bigger than a raccoon. And most importantly, Absolutely none of Karen's business. One of the officers, who looked like he'd already had enough of this nonsense, turned to me. "Sir, we got a call about an illegal hazard on your property." I sighed, taking a sip of my coffee before answering, "You mean my fence?" The officer nodded. I gestured to it. "It's legal. I've got all the permits. Want to see?" Karen let out an outraged gasp. "He's lying," she screeched, jabbing a manicured finger in my direction. "I have photographic proof that this fence is a death trap. What if children wander onto his land? What if someone's pet gets fried?" I glanced at the officer, who looked exhausted already. "Does she even live around here?" I asked, motioning vaguely at Karen, who was practically vibrating with rage. The officer sighed. "No. She's from the HOA 2 miles away." I set my coffee down on my porch railing and rubbed my temples. "So why is she here?" Karen's jaw dropped, like I personally insulted her ancestors. "Because your fence affects our property values," she shrieked. "It's ugly. It's dangerous. I will not allow this kind of negligence to ruin our community." One of the younger officers coughed, probably to cover a laugh. The older cop pinched the bridge of his nose and sighed. "Ma'am," he said in the universal tone of someone who deeply regretted their career choices, "this man's property is not in your HOA jurisdiction." Karen looked personally offended by the concept of laws not bending to her will. "But it's still near our community," she argued. "And I refuse to let some hillbilly play mad scientist with high-voltage fences." I was about to explain that my fence barely delivered a tickle when, as if on cue, my neighbor's goat, Lightning, trotted up to the fence. Now Lightning wasn't the brightest creature in the world. He had a habit of getting into places he shouldn't, and an even worse habit of testing his limits. Before anyone could react, the goat stuck his nose on the fence and got a tiny zap. Just a little one, enough to make him jump back in surprise. Karen screamed like she had just witnessed a murder. The officers and I just stood there, watching as Lightning, completely unfazed, flicked his tail and wandered off like nothing happened. "Did you see that?" Karen gasped, clutching her chest like she was about to faint. An innocent animal, shocked. He could have died. The officer who had been holding back a laugh earlier was now openly smirking. "Ma'am," he said, barely containing his amusement, "it's a livestock fence. It's designed to keep animals safe from predators. That goat just learned not to touch it." Karen's face turned red. "I don't care. This is unacceptable. I demand you arrest him for animal cruelty." The lead officer turned to me with the expression of a man who had seen some truly stupid things in his life, but this was breaking new records. "Sir," he asked, sounding almost apologetic, "do you want to press harassment charges?" Karen made a strangled noise. "Harassment? Me? I'm the victim here." I let out a long sigh, then turned to the officers. "Nah, I'll pass. I'd rather just get back to drinking my coffee." Karen gaped at me,